potentially a prison. I'm going to look at one more. It's spiritual. When I hear the word spiritual as a Christian, I can't help but think of God.
Amen.
Anybody else?
Amen.
You hear spiritual, God comes to my mind. I'm not going to apologize for that. But there's another thing that comes to my mind as well, and to kind of get us thinking about that, does everyone who hears spirituality think of God?
No.
Some people think of some other things, don't they? What kinds of things do they think of?
Demonic.
What now?
Demonic.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So we'll go really the other extreme. Amen.
Amen.
What else? What other things do people think of?
Human spirit.
And you see me right there. I thought I might hear some Buddha or, or Elijah Muhammad, some of that stuff. But I think human spirit too. Some people start to think human spirit. And so that's my second thought is on the inside of the human being. So it's God, and then there's stuff that's going on inside of me. And that brought to my mind that there are physical prisons that are on the inside, not just the outside. One example is addiction. Is addiction a physical prison? It's not bars on the outside, right? Somewhere the bars are on the inside, but there's a physiological dependence on something that creates a prison for me. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Maybe if I threw a couple examples out there. Drugs, sex, food. Are there some people addicted to those things, unfortunately? Amen. God bless you guys. And they're not long after. We're going to be done shortly anyway. But I want to cover this last thing. Are there some of those things that people are addicted to?
Yes.
I look at Ecclesiastes, and the Bible tells me that all of us have an eternal home in our hearts that God has put there intentionally. Why? Because there's a place in us that He only wants to be able to fill. Can you fill eternity with something that's finite? You can. But you know what people do? Run themselves ragged trying to.
Amen. What's finite?
Cheryl, what finite? It means something that has an end to it. Can something that has an end to it fill something that's endless?
No.
Can't do it. Let me give you an example. Cheryl's not here. She's seen this before, so I'll do it for you guys. It's like trying to quench the fires of hell with an eye drop. That's pretty silly, isn't it? And you look at me, the fires are raging over there, and I've got an eye drop, and I'm trying to... Now, how many times do I have to do this? How fast do I have to do this before I realize there's no chance that I'm going to quench those fires? But how many things in our lives do we end up doing that exact same thing? Trying to satisfy, trying to be happy. If I can load up or shoot up one more time, if there's just one more girl or guy that I can be with, I'll be happy finding it. Does that make sense? Yes and no? Right? It doesn't make sense to do it, but do we do it sometimes? Is that a prison of sorts? The other thing that stood out to me was the prison, the eternal prison of our souls. We have to acknowledge that too, right? Is everyone on the day of the Lord going to be saved?
No.
Unfortunately, no. And so many of the souls that we have known and come across, we recognize them as these human faces, but their souls will be eternally imprisoned. And in the absence of God, God won't be in their presence for eternity. That's another prison. And terrifying. I want to cover something with you because I recently had done some studies and heard on television that that DNA, your DNA, the genes that make you up, stuff that you had no choice, your parents just gave them to you, right? When you were born, some of that stuff determines some of these prisons that you live in. In other words, some people are more predisposed to being happy or being depressed than others. That's what it says. And there may be an element of truth to that. I'm not an expert, I don't know, but I know this. God says in His Word, 2 Corinthians 5:17, you all know the scripture. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he, and ladies, she, is a new what? Creature. Now, you know what was interesting to me? For the first time in reading the scripture in preparation for this, I heard the word creature. Why not person? Why not just a new person? What does creature really mean?
Creation. All different species.
What I'm hearing is God saying, you're so far, I can't even call you a person. You're so far removed from what you were before. I gotta say something else that means something else. You're a new creature in me. But how often do we fall into the same old ways of the old man? He even goes on to say, the old things have passed away. Behold, new things have come. How many of you know that regardless of what your human DNA says, that you've taken on new DNA? You had a blood transfusion when you were baptized. And you are now in God's family, and not just a Miller or a White, or I shouldn't start calling last names because I'll start forgetting. But you're a Jones, a Williams, a Donald. Oh, not a Donald. She's not a Donald anymore. I'll hurt you for that later. Amen, but you see that? You're somebody else. Romans 12:2. The Bible goes on to say, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect. Can you do any of those things if you're trapped in these prisons we've been discussing? So here's my thought. I get it. Very often, the prisons that we find ourselves in at this age, some of us are older, happened when we were some of these guys' ages, right? And you know what? If you say it wasn't your fault, it probably wasn't. It probably was imposed on you, the things that happened. I feel you. I had some things that didn't go my way that I wasn't responsible for. Amen. And unfortunately, it created some hooks in my flesh and caused me to engage in some of these prisons or allow some of these prisons to be imposed on me. I get it. But here's the question. How long does the enemy get to whip you with that same stuff? Hey. How long? Jesus said, it is finished. So you, as a child of God, when do you get to say, it is finished? Whatever it is, and we all got our own thing, our minds are all going different places because we all got our own prisons. But when do you get to say, nothing else? That's it. I argue that you can say it today, if you want. It's your choice. Amen?
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.